A very, very warm good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arun Foot. It is Saturday, December the 20th, 2025. And welcome again back to the channel. And at the start, as always, I'd like to remind you, if you like the conversations we're having over here, if you like what we're talking about, please leave a like behind. Share it with other people to watch this channel and again watch the content, and therefore let's keep on growing the community as such. Reynolds says AFF rejects both ISL clubs and I-League clubs model. What's next? What type of model will you build considering the consideration limitations? A hybrid AFF club model where clubs control commercial activities with equal power or less equal power. Is there any leagues in the world that run by federation? Any examples? Reynolds, originally the clubs used to run. Sorry. Originally not the clubs, but the federations, used to run the federations in regard to run the leagues. Originally across the pyramid, and then um, over the years. They realized that, what, the entities per se running the leagues are not in a position to run the leagues. So therefore, we are here now deciding to create a body which is going to run the leagues. And that is when, the private commercial entities, so to say, with stakeholding from the clubs or even investment from private entities was done, created. And therefore, we are in the situation we are in now. So therefore, that. The new committee going to meet major asset clubs and talks with them. I don't see asset 20, 25, 26 happening around the long-term future. Let's just stop playing football. I think we are doomed. Trainer, we are exactly where I said we would be. If you ask me, we're exactly in the situation that I predicted that we could be. And if I, um, you know, um, it is all blah blah without any substance. That is my concern looking at what the AFF spoke about. Um, you know, and interesting is that the proposal we were talking about from the ISL clubs, which originally said that 13 ISL clubs supposedly came together to make that proposal, now it says that that proposal has come from only 10, you know, and, you know, so therefore, this is something which we are in a very tricky, sticky scenario per se. So to me, we are in a situation which we are in, we were in, and therefore, yeah, that is it. Hi, Ashish. Good evening, Siddharth. Ashish says AFF Circus Kalyan Joker. Raj says hi. Rudro, hi. Today's AGM, was it not clicking? 1 second. There it is. Today's AGM was a joke. Again, Chai. Yeah, I from the community. I'm fed up now. What did you guys expect? Again, anyone who expected, as I've said in the videos, watch my videos over time. A lot of videos I speak about these things that could happen, would happen. Is a revolution, rebellion happening within the AFF? And uh, sorry, I am not surprised at what has happened today. And again, I just want to read out this whole thing. Just 1 second, just to make clear what is the next steps. A proposal regarding the future of the ISL was submitted by 10 clubs and presented at the AGM by Mr. Vinay Chopra, CEO of Monmouth Supergiant. Due to mixed reactions from the assembly, and this is the important part. Due to mixed reactions from the assembly regarding clubs' request to manage the league in perpetuity, the federation appointed 3-member committee to seek a resolution. This committee consisted of Kerala Football Association President Mr. Nawaz Meran, Goa Football Association President Caetano Fernandez, and the Indian Football Association West Bengal Secretary Animal Datta, along with the AFF Deputy Secretary General Mr. M. Satyanarayan, as the ex officio member, will hold discussion with representing from 5 clubs: Chennai FC, Mumbai City FC, SC Delhi, Northeast United, Mohun from 22nd to 29th. The objective is to reach an agreement then the adherence to the AFF constitution laid out by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Just to sum the whole situation up, and then coming to speak about it. The House also addressed opposition from I-League clubs by forming a three-member committee. The committee includes Andhra Pradesh Football Association President Kotagiri Sridhar, Mizoram Football Association Honorary Secretary Lalweng Puya, and Punjab Football Association Honorary Secretary Harjinder Singh, who will work with the AIFF Deputy General Secretary to find a solution. If necessary, the AIFF will consult with FIFA and the AFC to review how similar situations in other nations were handled as precedents. During the presentation, the respect observers from FIFA and AFC, Mr. Prince Rufus Naren Mukherjee, advised that the AIFF remains the governing authority for these decisions. On also the objection letters from executive members Avijit Paul, Valanka Lamau, as long as that of Debarbrata Sarkar, were placed in front of the general body. Right? And I tweeted about it earlier today. Addition as required by the Federation Constitutional General Body approved the appointment of several retired Supreme Court and High Court judges, for a former election commissioner, and various hiring IPS and DGP officials as chairpersons and deputy persons in independent judiciary committees. There is a mistake in the thought and flawed in this whole thing, in my opinion. If you ask me, there is, and I tweeted about it. You need sports governance people in there. This judiciary part of it is killing Indian football. We need to get out of the grip. So do you think as will happen? Some people saying as will happen 100%. Shiva, I've said 1%. I've been saying this for over 2 months. 1% chance. And nothing has changed. Happening, not happening, we're still at the same level. Do I think there's a lot of AFF bashing people doesn't know it's our ecosystem problem. If we don't do groundwork at ground, we keep on changing top leagues all the time without any success at international level, I think is what Reynolds is. Reynolds, yes. I said that today in Hiren's channel. We saw that people who claim, oh, you know what, we're doing stuff for Indian football, people are saying during the Messi tour, they got all involved, right? So the hypocrisy, double standards, and the biggest problem, lack of understanding. What I realized last week traveling in India is, you know what? We have a huge problem in football, and that's called lack of knowledge, right? And I can arrogantly say this, and I said this to people last week. Guys, I said so. I told you so. I come back to what I said earlier today in Hiren's channel. Guys, there are certain realities which are there, which I can't change, you can't change, nobody will change. And this is our biggest problem at this moment in time. Hi, Augusto. मेरे झुंझुन ले को देने के लिए अब बाहर का रुपये शीश. I doubt whether the answer clubs play in a league operated by with a commercial partner. I wouldn't. Rudra, if I was running, and I tell you honestly, if I was running an ISL team, and if it means running or shutting down a club, this is the question that people, the CEOs, the managing directors of these teams have to question. Do I want to run a team under the AFF given these realities? And I'll be honest to you, if I was in that position, I would say no. I've managed teams. I've been involved in clubs, but I've been also part of managing, advising. So these are people. I lost trust in football, sir. Today I was watching IWL League. How foolish a football world the AFF like TV. Like live. Shiva, if you've lost trust in Indian football today, welcome to the party, but you're very, very late. You know? And I say something which you fans will not like, but I'm still going to say it. Is your real problem that the IWL broadcast is so bad? Is that our real problem? Right? Is the broadcasting of the IWL really our problem? I am of the opinion, given the realities, I'm surprised the AIFF is actually being able to do a broadcast. I come from an era where there were no broadcasts, right? This whole discussion is not the thing, right? Sorry. So therefore, Shiva, if that is your real problem, and that is why you've lost trust in Indian football today, not working, in my opinion, very late to the party with all that has happened. And to me, the big problem that we face, or the problems that we face, is the ISL, the IWL broadcast is the least of my concerns. We should be talking about that the IWL is happening the way it's happening. At the center of excellence in at Newtown and in Kalyani, you're playing the IWL as if it's some sort of youth tournament. That should be the question that you should be worried about. A thing, not question. That's the thing that you should be worried about. That there is some sort of IWL broadcast. That's a bonus to me. People got huge views on Sunil and made him a victim. Okay, Raj. Hey, Mukul. I League want to take advantage of the situation to play in top tier league without hard work. Nice try, Lily. Shiva, there have been lots of people who've been trying that. You raise a very good point. Um, a lot of I League clubs, again, some of the bigger corporate ones. Um, but and I stick to what I've said over the summer. I think we need a smaller than a bigger league. I think the question is not a 13, 14 team league. I think we should cut it down to 10, let it run for 3 to 5 years. Because, and I'm now actually of the opinion after last week's India visit, I think the league needs to run for uh, for 6 months. For 5 years, because because anything else, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Um, what's going to happen? So for me, um, I'm not sure where we stand on this. Sorry, 1 second. There's a tweet, won't take name. He stated, "Why would a Bangladeshi club invest in India?" Okay, Raj, I don't know what the context is, but why would I don't even know why would a Bangladeshi club invest in India? To me, it makes sorry to say that to you, but I don't see the logic of a Bangladeshi club investing in India at all. Don't see what's the value for us for Indian football or vice versa. That I just stay in this mess. I can't even think of the stuffs these babus making and just stay in 3 decades. Then it's very simple. I go in and go out of India. After 4 days in India last week, looking at the realities, looking at what's happening. I'm quite happy that I can go in, jump in, do some stuff, and go out again and do my stuff which I normally do in this part of the world, right? And do my consultancies and focus on those. Because if I stayed within India, as you rightly said, um, not very easy given the realities of things at the moment. You know, very very difficult to sustain yourself in those given realities. They are forming committees, but for whom, when there is zero football action is happening, I'm amazed when Indian players are not speaking now. It's high time. See that some have, right? Some of the bigger ones have, or some of the ones who've been vocal on social media have. I've seen, again, Sandesh has been speaking. I've seen, well, I've seen Jayesh Rane. I've seen Probit Dash. Some smaller players as well. But again, yeah, across the board, like I thought, you know what, the Indian players should have used the Messi platform, especially in Mumbai, to protest the current situation. If the players, uh, uh, you know, uh, that's the thing. Drama, ongoing meetings, proposals, rejection, delay, and false hopes. The jokers are aware playing with the emotions of people, fans. The clubs will soon stop their operations as there's no solution. Are they playing with emotions? Again, are they bothered about those emotions? SB Sports Extremes, that's my first question. No, they're not bothered. So they're not playing with emotions. If they would understand these emotions, that we wouldn't in this situation, right? Why so-called influencer make edits to get view on Sunil Chetri who never watched the football match unrated program? Shiva, again, Raj mentioned as well. Which case are you guys talking about? I don't know. Meeting from Panchayat web series and typical Indian government, however, making committees is a foundational principle. AFF fed up, salute to Kalyan Chauba after so much embarrassment, still shameless. Shanlata, that's the reality of things, right? Again, this is where we are today in the year 2025. Um, and again, the question needs to be asked: who all were involved in creating this AFF 3 years ago, right? That to me is the question of all questions. There's no other question to be asked. Is it everywhere in the world that if a model doesn't work, after a while they select the next model which would work out? Is it same everywhere? No, Renal, it's not. Right? There are models which have not worked. Right? Let's take the United States as an example. They put in a lot of money, created the NASL in the 70s and 80s, brought in superstars, Pele, Beckenbauer, George Best, and others. Didn't work, flopped, got the 99 to host the 1994 World Cup. Said after that they will create MLS, and after that, what happened was that they um, started the MLS model, but revamped that NASL model to the MLS, and then the MLS itself changed its model in the 2000s to what it is now, and becoming more football focused, more football centric than a North American sports centric system that they were initially. And that seems to have worked for them. AFF can't do anything and saying we'll consult AFC and FIFA. Why will FIFA do anything? They don't care. Rudra, they don't care would also be wrong because FIFA and AFC have kept themselves updated or people have kept them updated. So that to say that would be wrong. But again, the question is what kind of help do you want from them? You could have sought help on the Supreme Court case before the Constitution. Again, this it looks like a yearbook which they released as the Constitution, and I have to sadly say, everybody involved with this constitutional thing, guys, be ashamed of yourselves. Andhra system, Supreme Court to Indian government to AFF to AFF to clubs, club to AFF, all circus going on. Yes, Shiva, force measures inevitable now. Rudra, it looks like it. It looks like it, sadly. Highest time for us fans. Now, Kalyan Chaubin needs to understand we fans and contributors are not fools who work tirelessly for Indian football daily, comes live, comment negative, and sleep and too much that. Shanlata, who cares about fans? Sorry, who cares about fans? Again, if you think that the AFF cares about fans, uh, uh, um, you know, you're not, you saw on the Messi thing. Who cares about fans? Do European clubs care about fans? Right? Again, don't. We can talk about fans and importance and this and that and everything in a global context, but to me, it doesn't work. Right? If you think that you as fan are important, they will tell you you are important. Sorry, right? You will be told you as a fan are very very important. But are you really important? Would be my question to you. And I'll be brutal to you and say no, you're not. Reality. Sorry. Right? If 1 second, why is it not showing? There it is. If some more ISL happens, is it possible to finish it in 2 months' time, starting for February? Just finish. If I'm a top tier football league, will be a mess. Indian football will never progress. SB Sports Extremes. I think the problem now is not, you know, um, if or what is going to happen. I mean, the point is if it starts in Feb, uh, you know, um, we'll have some sort of shortened format league. To me, the question is also what league are we talking about? Are we talking about the Indian Super League? Are we talking about some sort of new league? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows, right? So this is the mess we are in. So if really thinks that they can organize ISL, Hannibal, yes, they do think. Forget organize the ISL. Organize ISL without money, right? If you see how they're organizing the IWL, that is how the AIFF would organize the ISL. And my question to the guys running the ISL clubs: would you be willing to do that? Right? It becomes like as if you're. I mean, in the past, I guess the under 17, under 15, under 30 tournaments were, uh, you know, than what is being proposed. AJ meeting went like bullet train, nothing even. Why is it named so called annual general meeting when AIFF doesn't have anything to do whole year and just keep meeting to show off? Shanlata, again, that's, AGM has to be held, first of all. Secondly, I would not say that they didn't do anything for a whole year. That is also wrong to say. They've done a lot of things wrong. That's why we are in the situation that we are in. But yeah, those are the realities. People who killed Indian football are AFF, false messiah, state FAs, coaches who buy degree through money, age fraud, CEOs and agents scamming owners, sportsmen ignore football by giving no fronts. Aman, there are others. Again, you go on that. Yeah, every stakeholder is at fault, right? And you know what? When you talk to people, you say, no, no, I didn't do anything wrong. There is no level of introspection within Indian sports. This is our biggest, I would say, biggest drawback at this moment in time, that people don't want to recognize, realize, I done a mistake. I said to people, listen, if I look at things now, I would most probably have done certain things differently over the years, right? But again, it is not up to me to say if things are the way they are or not, and that's the problem. So I am same very crazy universe. I think. Okay, Shiva. I now understand. Can AF in the whole year give one good news to Indian football? MC6 we're discussing solution. 100 morals when league must be started and cost. Shanlata, again, not don't generalize, because the AFF will then tell you, oh, you know what, the women qualified, under 20s qualified, under 17 women's qualified for the Asian Cup, even the under 17 boys qualified, right? So they will send, again. So yeah, let's wait and see. Sir, I lost trust in everyone. You could not score single goal against Hong Kong. I want to see. Sir means how can 1.35 billion country tell us bad quality matchmakers? No, Shiv. Again, you are on the wrong path, right? You're on the wrong path, because to me, if your problem is the broadcast of the IWL, again, and that they're broadcasting is at this moment in time an achievement. Broadcasting is not a problem. Seriously, and that is something which you need to understand. If we want to talk about the problems, we have other much bigger problems than the broadcasting of the IWL. Talk about that the IWL is being held as a tournament in a short space of time rather than as a yeah. Please bring new animal. Who's going to do that? Who's going to bring the new administration? Today was a chance for the AFF to sit down and talk about the current situation and say, guys, you know what? I think we need to act. I think we need to do something. Right? Was it raised? There were certain letters sent in the past. This, that, everything. No one is standing up in the AFF, right? This is our biggest flaw in the AFF system, that nobody is willing to stand up for what is right or what is wrong within Indian football. Reality. If I like it or not, that is the reality. You know? So what's next? The sports again meeting, then forwarding to a Supreme Court to see Justice Rao's point used, or will there be a new tender? Renal, who's gonna again new tender? Who's gonna bid for the new tender? Again, my question is, you've now had a tender of the ISL bombed. You had an I League tender, no takers. You know, IWL, you had Capri Sports coming in, but Capri Sports saying, you know what, guys, there are a few things which we are not happy about. We have to talk, right? Um, it died out. So if the new tender thing sounds nice, but who's going to give you the money, right? And your problem for the AFF is the I League clubs tell you, oh, you know what, I will do a model, we'll give you, sorry, the ISL clubs give you, say, I'll give you 10 crores a year. The I League clubs are even worse. I'll give you 50 crores in 15 years. This is not going to work, you know? Ban AFF whole committee. Yeah, but Shiva, who's going to ban them? There needs to be a reason to ban, right? Here in the Indian Football says odd story. 2020 for no Asian Cup, no ISL, no good matches for any countries. Indian football is the only thing in the world. Some months experience to know A to Z reality. Supreme Court on holiday up to 10th of Jan. No chance of asset clarity up to 10/20. Listen, Shiva, the courts are part of the problem, right? And the courts have put it into the AIFF and put it to the put it to the sports ministry. And again, the sports ministry, the only solution that the sports ministry could offer is say, hey, listen, guys, here are 500 crores. Do something in the next 5 years. Simple thing. Revenue reset is the right word. But who's gonna it? The problem is from the outside, you cannot reset the AIFF. The Supreme Court has actually given a carte blanche to the current dispensation for another 9 months. And this is what I said last week to certain people. Can you allow this to go on for 9, 10 months? We're literally self-destructing Indian football. The little that there was, the little that there is, all of it is getting destructed. Irony cursed whole world celebrates New Year. We celebrate the starting of final death year of Indian football finally after years of torture. Let's hope not. Let's see. Is it hypocrisy except some Indian players? No one upload a post regarding failed to qualify Asian Cup. What when they realize ISL will not happen, then money gone, chankte Sandhu. Again, the point is not that. To me, I know from a fan's perspective, you know, yeah. Um, the problem is, I said this in the afternoon on Rian's channel. The owners, the top managements of the clubs, and then you can add the coaches and the players. Nobody believed that Reliance Code would walk away. Reality, right? That they would walk away, say thank you very much, bye bye bye. And that's where they are. And I have had conversations or messages from players uh, where they're really worried. And I know from some players that they don't want to make a public statement because, and I understand that because they say, listen, this might be used against me now or in the future, saying saying that I'm a potential troublemaker. I might not be signed by clubs. So there are different reasons. Again, there are a lot of nuances. You cannot, as Sandesh Jingan can afford to say what he says. That's Sandesh Jingan. Others, Probi Das has been saying what he says. Jayesh Rane I've seen, right? A young player, Manas Dubey, has been saying. This is it. AFF knows only one statement. The matter is sub judice. There is no time, no solution to conduct the league. Who sits in these committees? Are they even qualified? They have no idea what to do. I would say they're not qualified. SB Sports, SB Sports Extremes, if you ask me, no, they're not qualified. Because the AFF is keeping it in-house, I would have suggested, if the AFF asked me, I would have suggested get external people involved, ask FIFA AFC to step in, ask external people to come in and say, guys, let's work on some solutions. Clean slate, and do it. This was done like it was done in 2016-17 when the impasse regarding the roadmap was not being solved. The AFC and FIFA stepped in, again, in the background, as per my recommendations. I was even part of being one of the authors of the roadmap, where we said, guys, let's work on this, right? And why it worked at the time was that, especially the AFC via its Secretary General Winsor John, pushed people, even had a meeting in Kuala Lumpur to get everybody together. AFF will never sort out these things unless get banned from FIFA and suspended from the See that it's not banned and suspended. There is only a FIFA ban. You can't be suspended from the AFC in that way. So, but FIFA doesn't have any grounds to not holding your country's league is not a ground on getting banned. So many influencers it is on Sunil Chetri and Messi tour that Sunil requested Indian fans to come to watch ticket cost 100 to 1,000, Messi 5,000 plus, etc. On Insta. Okay. Again, why are you watching this? Why? Again, I also say, guys, we don't watch everything that there is on the net. My only request, right? Don't watch everything that there is on the net because it doesn't help you. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there, right? Which you should, yeah. Have you had the scandal in Cameroon affair where the national team has two coaches? Ito is president. They are in a big mess. So this administration all around the world. Yes, Renal, I know. And very interesting. Samuel Ito, one of Cameroon's best ever players, is president of the Cameroon Football Association. Disaster. So this anybody coming forward and telling you, oh, ex-athletes need to be in sporting bodies. It is the first thing I will say. Thank you very much, Tara. I will go. Because ex-athletes are not the solutions to your issues and problems within the federation, right? Athletes, if I say they need to have studied at least a little bit of sports, right? Because also what we see in the AIFF and the state affairs, most of these people are honorary people, a lot of people who've come in, political contacts, business people, people who say, oh, I'm generally interested in football, but have they really learned and worked and understood? This is one of my learnings over the last nearly 3 decades of Kolkata. The Kolkata Maidan lives in its own world. It doesn't understand that football or the world has moved on, and doesn't understand, uh, you know. So let's see. Sir, said Bangladesh club as they're referring to East Bengal. Raj, again, should be called out. Should be called out what it is racism. Again, East Bengal's position, is it right? No, it's not. But is that something to say, uh, to push it into a direction? Or then I would say no. And thanks to Mohammad Supergiant for icing on cake of so good news of getting banned from AC tournaments. The West New Zealand football can have. Sharnata, it was clear that 50,000 fine, suspension, it's clearly written in the rule books. I mean, why are we even surprised? I don't know. I mean, that was bound to happen. It happened. And yeah, thanks. Welcome to Mohan. Sir, if ISL not happen, who those players you think any player can play in second tier, third tier league of Europe, Africa, Asia, such a given name, do you think any player lacks speed? It's not a question of can they play. Who will take them? I mean, I honestly asked someone the other day in Mumbai and I said, who do you think anyone good would pick up to play abroad? Anyone, right? And that person was thinking, telling me, I couldn't tell you anyone. I said, yeah, exactly. Welcome. That's the reality. I don't even want to talk about that pathetic piece of goat tour. Very sad Messi had to witness that unnecessary touching by ministers. Feels some bad for Rodrigo and Luis hosting them legends. No, I don't feel sad for them. If Messi comes to India, and I said this a little earlier on Hiren's channel, and does all this circus for money, and again, I don't think Lionel Messi needs the money. It's his own fault. Sorry, I don't feel sad for Messi. If Messi, I've used in private conversations very, very bad words, which I cannot and will not do publicly, about how Messi is. Forget Messi, even Cristiano Ronaldo, all these guys, when it comes to the money matter. So I don't feel sorry for any one of them. For the money that they receive, this is the treatment you get. Right? Yeah. Yeah, so just qualified, so they don't get enough game time or good matches. Even they destroyed the only positive things. Yeah, yeah, but at least they qualified, right? In 2021, we defeated Hong Kong team with 4-0 score. Now we're struggling against them, just proving our downfall. No, 2022. And you know what? I was there at Kolkata for that game. It is not a 4-0 win for India. I already said it, and there's that video still on the AIFF. Watch it. Where he said, actually, it's a 2-2 draw. We were clinical. Sunil was superb. This, that, everything. We were not as good as we thought we were in those years. That's your problem. Is it a downfall? Of course, we got worse, but thanks to Mr. Steamage, right? That's ego's fault. Not even one good solution passed in today's meeting. What do you expect, Mahesh? What did you expect? No offense, but now for sure, I'm Williams cursing himself for choosing Indian football. Siddharth, I don't know. I honestly don't know if he's cursing himself. Could be, might be. Um, that's why I said also to people, I have a lot of respect for Ryan for making this switch because at this time, given the realities, that's a huge step. That's a massive step to accept an Indian passport to wanting to play for India. Yes, sir, except there are many problems. Sir, I means, how can you telecast top tier women's league? I know there are 100 more important points than telecasting, even telecasting is achievement for FF. Yes, Shiva, we are down to this level that things are so bad that for us, if the AIFF is able to broadcast the IWL, that is an achievement. Sounds bizarre, but that's the reality of football today, Indian football today. If the AIFF can broadcast the IWL, for me, it's an achievement. That's the crazy downfall of levels that I have at least. You know? So yeah, realities. Mohammad Superjan get good treatment for see they get there is no good or bad treatment. They got what they deserved according to the rules. My honest opinion, which thing should we do? Creating a strong league like Saudi League, Japan League, and Korean League in Asia, or playing for two strong leagues in Asia, Europe, like African and South American? Both. Ideally, both. But actually, factually, none of it is happening. That's the problem. And what's wrong with East Bengal? Well, that's a good question. Is it East Bengal? Is it Nitu Sarkar? Is it linked in any way to the Anwar Ali case? Good question. That that East Bengal club officials have been unhappy with the ISL. We've known that, right? So I don't know. Right, quick reminder: 38 minutes done. Like, share, and subscribe to Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit also arunfoot.com. 10 likes on this video so far, guys. I think we can do better. And we stand at 3,536 at this moment in time as I speak to you. Thanks to the new subscribers to the channel and watch my short videos. Guys, need your support on that. Not been getting too many views in the last few days. So do watch my video today about the proposal that had been put forward by the clubs, which I found very, very interesting actually. And actually 10-minute video. I took my time to actually make a detailed video on it. Yesterday about the fines suspension from Mohun Bagan. What are the solutions? I did a video about that a couple of days back. Then, you know, how could have been the go-to have been used for Indian football? Then the whole Messi thing, what's next in the AIFF, ISL Future, Super Cup, blah, blah. There's a lot of videos in there. And of course, some older videos, watch them as well. If Indian football doesn't call it anything, AIFF escapes media, Indian football is negative, Indian football qualifies, AIFF gets things to defend itself. Yeah. They demanded to ban AIFF and then a women's football future is in danger. No, again, what is in danger? Do you think if the preparations go on as is going on at the moment, we will be embarrassed in the Asian Cup? Right? That is my concern at this moment in time as I speak to you. As I look at things going at the moment, if India is going to play in the Asian Cup in March in Australia, Japan is going to whack us. Right? How bad will that be? A 10-0, a 15-0, a 20-0? Right? That's the gulf of distance, you know? Sir, is it AFF constitution to have clause that only ex-football player become president, or is it in or not? Is not transfer? There is no ex-player clause to become president. No, there is no clause like that. At least Professional era was better than Chaudhuri. Yes, it was. So probably we are doomed. I don't think clubs will agree on AFF terms and will go or we back to go to pre I League eras. No, we're going back to pre NFL days. We're going back to the mid 90s. If this thing doesn't happen in some sort of formal way, then yeah, we're going back to those days. Yeah, that's the danger. Give me all ways in which I can contribute to Indian football after earning money. UP for future currently 19. If you are, if you have the money, and I wish you all the best in achieving that. Once you have it, at that time, get in touch. It is today very difficult to tell you what could, if you make money in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, you want to contribute to football. I don't know what the status of Indian football or UP football will be, to be very honest. So therefore, work hard, be successful, and then let's see. There are some things ISL should learn from Super League. Kerala SLK may not have the best stadiums but have 6 home grounds, feel close to the people. Fans didn't have to travel far or plan too much. The game came to them. That connection atmosphere mattered more than perfect standards. As well got that right. Adarsh, why do I have to? Why is that something which works or doesn't work? Except Punjab FC, everyone was playing in their home city. So where does this connection again thing that you're talking about come from? Mumbai City is playing at the Mumbai Football Arena. FC Goa is playing at the Fatorda. FC Cochin is playing. Kerala Blasters are playing in Kulur. Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Chennai is hosting Chennai. And Kantira. Your point makes no sense at all. Sorry. That there is a certain level of craze in Kerala. Yeah. Uh, uh, you know, um, good. But I want to hear about the financial numbers because I know from at least one franchisee that the numbers were bad. This season, it has helped that the ISL wasn't happening. But for me, for example, the whole season went past me, right? I Once in a while I was seeing a few clips on social media. Bengal Super League started, right? It has gone past me. So it shows you that in your so-called bubble, it might be that they're showing you a lot, this, that, everything. But to the general Indian football bubble, and I believe I am part of that, um, it is not getting through. So therefore, those are realities. And if it works, I wish Super League Kerala all the best. I wish the Bengal Super League all the best. But these kind of models, the way that they've been built, are doomed over a certain period of time because the financials don't add up. You guys are on the wrong path if you want to talk to me about, hey, listen, I have to have a full stadium and then it will be a success. No, I need sponsors. I need corporates to invest in my product. Yeah. For me, that is the point. We don't need to talk about anything else. That's the problem. Annette got to Messi, why is so emotional, bro? He come for money, not for walking in the street with 600. It is. For me, again, and my level of respect for Lionel Messi after this tour has gone down, right? And I will not forget the carnival around when Diego Maradona came to Kolkata a few times, right? I myself have dealt with these issues with Bayern Munich when we played Oliver Kahn's final game in Kolkata, when we had Baichung Bhutia's testimonial in Delhi, right? And I always put my foot down with certain things. I had my run ins with the local authorities, with the police, and said, guys, Shatadru couldn't, right? The Shatadru could not, because if you see in Kolkata, political class running the show. In Hyderabad, political class running the show. In Mumbai, political class running the show. In Delhi, political class running the show. It shows you where India stands in 2025, right? So this was not about Messi. It was not about football. This was all about showing power and money. India has the money for sports to grow, but India doesn't want to spend on it. Even those who have the money, even stakeholders, investors of big entities, spent ridiculous amounts of money on this Messi tour. Other people wanted to spend ridiculous money on the Argentina match in Kerala. So where are your priorities? So I question Moldova can't play in FG to ban in 2016, but can Moldova play in SAF Club Championship in 2026? Ballister theoretically, yes. But will the SAF Club Championship is something I've been hearing now for 15 years. Will it have ever happen? Just asking. Is it, sir, anyone can run a league without AIFF interference? No. You can, but then you need to work on certain things. But again, without Reliance has been doing that for 11 years. So you have to, again, they've not done everything right. But Reliance, through IMG Reliance, through FSDL, has done a lot of things and has spent money which would have never come into Indian football. So that's also a reality. The I League proposal of 50 crore across 15 years, not per year. Yeah, Shivam, that's why. I mean, when I read that number, I always said, we don't even need to discuss that proposal. There is no need to discuss that proposal because I cannot take that proposal seriously. How can you take that proposal seriously? Right? So there are realities at the moment in Indian football where there are certain people doing certain things. There are other people who are trying to stay in the game. They're trying to stay relevant, and they're not. Right? That's the sad part. So the question, Mohammed, we already had that question. East Bengal showcase support to FF. Yeah, Shivam, as I said, I think it's linked to the Anwar Ali case. Because if someone comes in and looks at the case, as I said on day one, look at my video on the day that we first discussed, I discussed this. It's a closed and shut case. Anwar Ali, ban, fine. East Bengal, ban, transfer suspension, fine. Delhi FC, ban, transfer ban, suspend, fine. And then individuals, most probably Neetu Sarkar and Ranjit, would get in trouble for it. So start and finish, no problem, no conversation. Sorry, guys, you did something fraudulent. The franchise is almost obviously on issue of force majeure just before January. Yeah, Shivam. That's why I see, for example, Javi Severio leaving SC Goa and moving on to play in Cyprus. I can't fault him. So your views on Kerala League look like Kerala League success. Such high view stadium was good and fun and great podcasting. See, and that's the problem. Great broadcasting and a lot of people in a stadium means nothing. Their finances count. Therefore, guys, again, yes, you look at it from a fan perspective. I look at it from a management perspective, and this is, everyone like subscribe and share this channel and support. Sir, thanks a lot, Alistair. Thanks a lot. Yes, once more, like, share, and subscribe to help me grow the channel. We need to have more, and 15 likes so far. Thanks a lot. Again, let's keep on growing the community. And if you haven't, Dropoba did an interview with me, an extended interview with me on, I visited his place last week in Gurgaon, and we sat down for over an hour, close to an hour, and 50 minutes of that have come out in an extended podcast. Let me know what you thought about it. Think about it. Short clips are on Instagram. He's launched, and I'm thankful to him. He's launched a new channel, and Zero Ball Knowledge, and I've been, so to say, the first guest on that channel. So thank you for that. Okay, about East Bengal, their bootlickers is happening in let's not get started on that. Bengal League is joke. Look at stadium ground conditions. Again, what did you expect? I did take your question. I'm talking about crazy fans. Can I have only one team, best fans in Maharashtra, Kolhapur. Others, again, best fans here, best fans there. That's a nice point. But again, the matter is about money. And from that perspective, Mumbai City have been Kolhapur will not be able to generate. Look at the Northeast. Biggest interest in football, but they will not be able to support stuff. Even Northeast United, John Abraham has been struggling for 11 years. John is even struggling today, right? So these are all realities which I need to keep in mind. Government support needed. Yeah. In India, have no tough competition. Japanese international team players have not play. They have played in Europe. Harish, but they started off in Japan, no? Didn't they start off in Japan, either in the youth system or in the J League? So therefore, for me, very very simple. Yeah, that's how it is. 2023 AFC Asian Cup is one of the most shameful performances ever. Zero matches win, zero goals scored, 0 points earned. Yeah, yeah, we've got a lot of shameful events. West Bengal government not supporting Bengali. Ask Shivam. Yeah, they are supporting them. They've supported in a big way actually football over the years. Explain me. Always leave Israel just because Iran. Why and why they brought Australian players in which country had good relation with Iran? Again, who has uh, why Mohun Bagan didn't go? A very valid question. I don't have an answer to that. I think nobody in the world has an answer to why Mohun Bagan doesn't travel to Iran. I don't think you think Mohun Bagan has an answer to that. We can talk and highlight about the foreigners. Yes, is a very valid point. I can't take that away. That is a very valid point to discuss and talk and say, hey, listen, guys, we've got foreigners who don't want to travel. But then when Mumbai City did that, they had to travel also to Iran, didn't take the foreigners, went with an all India, um, all Indian squad. Why they and again, I till to this, as I record this at this live and speak to you guys, I don't know why Mohun Bagan is not didn't go. And they didn't have a reason to me last year. They didn't have a reason for me going this year, not going this year. Everybody else is going. The only club in Asia who's not traveled in the AFC Champions League Elite or in the AFC Champions League 2 in the last couple of years is a certain Mohun Bagan Supergiant, which is a big shame on the club, on the institution, Mohun Bagan Athletic Club, and it's an even bigger shame for India and Indian football. This is disgraceful, right? It is the so called National Club of India. Everybody involved should be ashamed of this. Everybody. But who cares? Again, we come when introspection, accountability, all those catchphrases words. Hey Roshan, this term perpetual is floating in this topic. What's actual difference between perpetual and infinite? Roshan, it's a word, right? It's a word in which you play around, where you are saying, you know what, I am trying to figure out um, what to do, um, and there is no um, you know uh, uh, as you say, it's infinite, it's eternal, never ending. Yeah, it's got that feel to it, right? West Bengal government just getting greedy. Yeah, that's one. But again, they've also supported football. Is it the league is in loss? Why fans come in large numbers? The government also comes to support to show unfortunately loss. Again, fans coming is not an indicator if a league is successful or not. Right? I know you will come and tell me this, not everything. No, it's not doesn't work. Right? It's a very difficult one. Um, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Does AFF consider top league should be owned and operated by AFF? How would we get a commercial partner? And do you think a good commercial partner is important for Indian football? Ready to answer your second question? Yes, 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 yes. A good, a strong, a solid commercial partner is needed. And looking at the realities, uh, I think I don't see anyone outside Reliance, but we have ensured that Reliance has walked away. Not we, but the AFF. So to me, if I say, ye reality hai, wo reality, these are realities. It's very difficult, in my opinion, very, very difficult, right? So, yeah, I don't know how we can get out of this mess. Indian players starting UK law permit and saying Europe don't take us, but they can't go to Japan or other. Alistair, UK has its thing, yes. And in what league could our players play in the UK? Would be my second question. Is there an Indian player who can play in the professional leagues in the UK? I don't see anyone capable of playing in the UK. In forget Premier League, forget Championship, League One or League Two. I don't see a player. If you ask me, our players are of a standard where I would say our players are what level? Maybe National League, 50 or 60. You're not going to get a work permit for that. Does East Bengal backstabbing other ISL Cup has got anything to do with Ranjit Bajaj and Anwar Ali case? I don't. That's my speculation as well. I think yes. Anwar Ali case judgment 10 to 12 days. Raj, I will only believe it when it happens. Indian players scared to play outside because they know they will expose and then they will not get money that they got. Listen, Alistair. They're not going to get the money abroad anyway, right? Nobody is going to give even sometimes 1/10th, 1/20th, 1/50th of what they're getting in India, right? Because the standard in India is not good enough at the moment, right? If I like it, you like it, we like it, reality, right? So therefore, these players need to fight it out. Sorry. So for me, you know, sorry. Those members in AFF House. You could say that, but I sometimes, again, be angry with me. I question also the so-called passion that you are speaking about, right? Are we directing the passion in the right direction? I don't think so. You know, so as FSL walked away, what's next was the. I don't think without commercial partner league will collapse if it happens. Uh, I don't know. You're asking a very valid question, and I don't have an answer to that. I said earlier today on Hiren's show. Sorry, Opala, why is my airpod falling out? I said earlier today on Hiren's show that walking away, that there are a lot of people at the clubs, officials, players, even owners, people in the AFL, people in the whole system telling me Reliance will not walk away, right? And I remember I said that 2.5 years ago, around that India versus Kuwait final of the SAF Cup. Um, and yeah, and people didn't want to believe that reality. And we're there now. We're there in that reality. Well, can the clubs run the league? Theoretically, yes, but they will need a commercial partner, right? And I'm not sure if they can solve it in the best possible way. It's a challenge, in my opinion, but they can. So therefore, that will be interesting to see. So soon, uneducated East Bengal. Listen, it doesn't matter if it's educated or uneducated East Bengal fans. Again, this is the same thing that Mohun Bagan fans said to me. I don't care what fans of XYZ club say. I have an opinion, and I can say most of the times I'm right. I'm not saying I'm always right, but most of the times when I say something, it's sadly true, right? How realistic is the idea of joint ISL clubs? I don't know if the idea is dead. because the AIFF has to be in charge of the league. So, Tata, bye bye. I read today Andre Lakshmikant playing for Estoril in Portugal was named player of the match. Just suppose it's true. How do you rate it? I don't read much into man of the match awards. Roshan, the player, if a player is playing in the Portuguese league and is successful, um, then uh, yeah, then it's going to be good. And man of the match awards here, man of the match awards there. No need, right? The player is good, better than everything that we have at the moment. The people saying going to abroad, this abroad thing is just pure delusional. Our talents are not anywhere near elites. Now, first aim should be making the league run in a decent way, one by one. Renil, that's the problem, right? Also, fans calling, oh, the player need to go abroad. Um, the players need to be better to go abroad. There is, again, I know, again, I've been in touch with certain players and players have been in touch with me, and I said, guys, very difficult to not happening. And therefore, I'm not bothering too much about those things, right, at the moment. So therefore, those very difficult realities, right? Very difficult realities, in my opinion. And we need to figure out where are we heading, how are we heading, kya heading, and that's difficult. So yeah, women football increased, but men opposite. Someday will happen. Men versus women, then 11-0. Alistair, that won't happen because there are certain physical attributes where women's teams will always suffer. Elsewhere, again, I think world champions have played against boys and lost against under 15 boys. So yeah, not happening. Time of something counter about reels. We'll post short clips of podcast. When's the podcast coming? Raj, it's already out. It's out on the new Zero Ball Knowledge platform. Let me post. I'll post the video here in the stream. It's already out. Dog Baba launched a new channel and launched it with me. So great honor for me. Thanks a lot. And uh, yeah, the pod is out since yesterday. Watch it. Enjoy it. 50 minutes of honest conversations on Indian football. How much of boost do you think is today's East Bengal's women's team win for IWL season? Roshan, none at all. I know that you and Shaggy are amongst those who are trying to promote women's football. This is another tournament which, for the sake of having it, is happening or happened. Same happens with the IWL. It's no boost at all, right? And um, and as hard as it might sound, the AIFF is doing it for the sake of doing it. Randall is an opportunist person, just leverage his turmoil to make himself popular. Yeah, he did that even before. Now, what do you explain with this Emery and Reliance, and what favor Capri spots proper deal making or good contract management? Roshan, Capri realized that there are certain points in the tender which they wanted clarified, and the AFF clarified, and they were not interested, so they walked away. Very simple. There's nothing complicated about this. So now that the joint proposal of both ISL clubs and I League clubs is ready to AFF, is there a point of following any club football? PC gamer tag, that's a good question. I don't know. Again, I don't know what I will be doing from 2nd Jan onwards, but we will be certainly having our Indian football discussions. But I think once in a while I'll have to go and do international football now. Yeah, Champions League and other things, right? Or on a Saturday, maybe at this time, speaking about European club football. Just looking at the results, let's say the Premier League, right? Newcastle, Chelsea 2-2, Bournemouth, Burnley 1-1, Brighton, Hove Albion, Sunderland 0-0, Man City 3-0 against West Ham, and Wolves another loss to Brentford. So for the moment, before Everton play Arsenal, Man City top of the league. Who would have thought it a few weeks ago? So that's the things in the Premier League. And I take Bundesliga. Now we have to start doing international football. Hamburg SV, Eintracht Frankfurt 1-1, Wolfsburg, VfL Wolfsburg, SC Freiburg 3-4, Cologne 0-1 to Union Berlin, and Stuttgart Hoffenheim Nil-nil as well as Augsburg against Bremen and Bayern Munich play tomorrow in Heidenheim. Wow. You think Reliance RYFC pulling out from grassroots youth works, more new projects? I think they pull out fully from everything. Why spend money when they doesn't have the ownership? No, Renal, the Reliance Foundation, Young Champs, so it's RFYC projects, I think will continue because that's independent. That comes from Reliance Foundation, which is independent of the whole professional football shebang. If you want to write something as bad, you can't either comment, delete, or the tab will not let you. Okay, no, it's how close are we for at least one hour setups announcing they're shutting down? Honestly, I don't know. Arun, that point of no return is already there. And there is a and what I find positive is that none of the clubs have said, you know what, enough is enough, we're going. Right? Could have done. Some of them could have done that, have not done it. And I see that as a big, big positive at this moment in time. So let's wait and see. I'm sad for Williams also. Those who are going to destroy their career for India. Listen, Williams came to India, had two good seasons. So Ryan was lucky. The others are not going to do that. Right? Even though they're saying it, they're not going to come to India and play in India because there's nothing to play for in India. And if the money dries up, I don't see that is going to help. Yes, you're right that in men's and women's power, physical, and other attributes matter. But look at Shivdat and Liston. Liston is a six-hitter, understand. Alistair, Liston would be banging in the goals in the women's game if you allowed him to play against women. So therefore, that logic doesn't work. Sorry. Guys, if you don't have any political connections about talking against some people, you get warning or legal actions. Says Raj. What model will now work the like AFF owning and operating? How can a commercial partner work in this kind of situation? Do you know any inputs which like could be understood? No, I don't see anyone coming forward. You know, um, in this current scenario, in this current format, I don't see anyone coming forward. The AFF needs to figure out its system um, for someone external to say, you know what, I will come forward and I will get involved and I will invest. Right? The AFF are in a situation where they need to figure out what's going to happen to the system, how's the system going to work, and and that's the huge challenge that they have at the moment. You know, so yeah. So therefore, a commercial partner coming on board sounds easy, but who's that commercial partner going to be? Big question. If you are administrative, what would be the model you would try to work out which respects the current constitution? My first work would be to change the constitution. Or I would have actually worked towards not getting this constitution, to be very honest with you. This constitution is part of the problem. No? The constitution at the moment is not part of the solution. So to me, if you ask me, what is the solution? I think you need to rectify the constitution first. You need to tell guys, we need something. Um, it can't work in the way that you think that it would work. Right? So that's the first thing, Daniel. If you ask me, um, this constitution needs uh, a lot of rectifications. We spoke earlier today about Samuel Eto'o in Cameroon. Just to prove a point, Samuel Eto'o, much better player than anyone of our footballers ever, right? Top level striker. But he has completely messed up Cameroon football. Fighting with the sports ministry. So similarities, right? But we talk about Cameroon multiple times, AFCON winners, multiple times, participants in FIFA World Cups, right? We talk about 1990 and Roger Milla and all those things. So that is what, to me, shows me right constitution of your executive committee, right leadership in president, vice president, treasurer, but even more, right administrator, right? We need to talk that the AIFF administration at the moment, start to finish, a disaster. So, yeah. Share this channel, guys. Thanks, Raj. Yeah, once more reminder, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't, if you're liking the conversations. Even if you're watching it afterwards, do leave a like behind. 17 likes so far. Thanks a lot. Share it with others. And of course, if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel so we can grow. 3,536. Again, I said before the end of the year, I wanted to reach 4,000. Again, that looks very difficult with 11 days to go. But again, let's keep on growing the community. Do help me grow, not only here, also on my Instagram, on my Twitter X. Thanks a lot as always. Is it Alliance projects more of a CSR? They also do in other sports. Yes, Renal. Those are CSR projects. What are your thoughts on Path and JSW? Because of him, Sunil got a chance to meet Messi, or else who could invite him? Raj, I don't know if he could have, but if I see how much of money and effort JSW has spent, um, I thought Sunil was disrespected. I would have said put Sunil first to meet Messi. The joke is to me that Sunil was most probably the only person Messi knew in that whole bloody stadium to meet. He knew nobody else, right? So I thought even JSW and Park Jindal disrespected Sunil Chetri. I know that's a big statement, but sorry, the first person to meet, not the last one. Again, that's Sunil for you. That's it. So can you see Mohan Bagan's performance 2025-26 as decline or as arrogance of management? Alistair, we've just played a few tournaments. Um, Listen, that arrogance of the management hasn't always been there. It's a decline of standards. I don't even know if it was a decline. So again, those are tournaments, so therefore very, very difficult to say. Did you see massive shift Kerala football culture after intro of Kerala Blasters? See some of the Kerala Blasters highlights go to 10 lakh views. Yes, it is big. Yeah, Renal, Kerala has always been a football loving state, right? Big thing. To me, Kerala loves football, period. But at top level, it has failed to have a club to really compete over a long period of time. FC Cochin, great work. Um, the gentleman's name was Babu Mathur and Vijayan, Joe Polancheri. I think Raman Vijayan also. All these guys came in, right? Boom, bang, and then a few years later disappeared. Viva Kerala was the second incarnation in the I League days, also bombed. And then the Blasters came. And yes, the Blasters have not won a title. Um, uh, but they are without winning the title, still the uh, biggest success story of the Indian Super League, I would say. From a fan perspective, if overall, yeah, they would be one of the big success stories. Besides FC Goa and Mumbai City, they would be one of, despite not winning any titles, yeah, top three. AFF posted pictures of Constitution. Raj, it's a sad thing to see because to me, um, it's not worth the paper, right? If the AFF is serious of trying to work out something, uh, um, they need to build a lot of things on a number of fronts. Otherwise, that constitution is not worth it. It needs a lot of reworking. Do you see any amendments in the AFL constitution or sports ministry's meetings or even use Justice Rao's findings and put it in front of Supreme Court? Renal, these guys have no clue what they're doing. All of them. I just said that. Sorry, with all due respect. I met sports ministry officials last week. It needs radical working on. So yeah. So what do if you are the owner of Mohan Bagan? Do you want to have control of all, or you let coach and technical team to handle club matters? Alistair, it depends on what level you are, right? The owner, uh, you know, um, then you have the management. So the question is, again, the management has been signing players. Now, I think two or three coaches have said, you know what, the constitution of the team is not right, and still no changes were made. So, I would always say that, you know, uh, coach and technical team. Again, do they have a technical team? They don't have a technical team, right? That's the first thing. Where's the sporting director? Mohan doesn't have a sporting director. So the management takes the call, right? So there's a structural flaw in it. So can you explain the constitution short? Okay. I said there is no short of a constitution. I've done multiple videos. Again, I would recommend to you watch those older videos that I've done on the constitution and the flaws in the constitution. Clearly speak about it in detail on those things. Please do watch them because that will give you the right insights on it. And to there is no 30-second summary of a constitution of a federation. Can AFF constitution could be amended? If it's orders AFF to amend, will AFF to agree to it? No, if the Supreme Court orders AFF to amend, that's third party interference, and that means a FIFA ban. So 23.3, that clause has been removed. So the AFF can themselves take decision. That's the point that I'm surprised at the moment, is that the AFF is still running back to the Supreme Court. They could take a call themselves, and they're not doing it. Right? So realities. What keeps you still hoping for a sinking boat like Indian footy? In the 3 decades, you would have about 30 years of sadness. What keeps you still putting effort? Just want to see the country do good. Yeah, Renal, the last sentence is the most important, but it's not about 30 years of sadness. Again, in my younger days, I would have been, I would have been naive with a lot of things to think, things can change, things will change. But things were changing. And in the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of things changed for the good. Even with the Ali coming in, before that, Z coming in with the broadcast and all those things. ISL, I was part of the birth of the Indian Super League, right? Great times, helped Round Glass Punjab set up the academy structure of it. They didn't go through with everything. I think they would be better today. But, you know, but today, if I look at things, look at how bad things are, uh, the last 3 years have been the hardest. But I've been fighting for the right things. I've spent time, money, effort on my own on those things. Yeah. And I will still try and do that. So therefore, that fight for me never ends. I've seen people trolling Jay Shah for not able to play cricket, but he's a good answer. Similar to people in India thinks person who's played that sport knows the chances will work. Is Jay Shah a good administrator? I don't know. Again, I don't know enough about him and about his cricket work. If Jay Shah is promoting the cricket T20 World Cup tickets via Messi, then I know that something's wrong. So therefore, I don't know if he's a good administrator. For me, that's bad administration. See, Kalyan Job, a good players can't be good administrators. People don't realize this. Yeah, but was he good player even? That's the question. Again, define that. Don't define people as good or bad. He was an ex-player, period. It's like the GOAT tour. Lionel Messi is not for me the greatest of all times, even though I'm a big Messi fan. And he's lost, as I said, a lot of credit with this tour. You know, Prophet is seen commenting about AFL's club. Do you see him coming back to FA post? Can he be candidate for next elections? Well, I don't know. This is a question for Prophet Patel to answer. So let's see. I wonder, do these people in AFL don't know how much fans are frustrated with them? How can they sleep peacefully? Raj, it is not. Who cares about the fans? And don't again forget Indian football. In the rest of the world, if I'm caring about what you think, and I'm working in football, I've already lost. You, if you are in the AFF or in a club anywhere in the world, you have to think what is right or wrong for the club. And I have said this even to my German friends, that sometimes the decisions you take as a club with the fans might be against you. The clubs should be right. And I say you my perfect example. My favorite example on that has always been the European Super League. I think it's a project that we need if we want football in Europe to grow and globally to grow. So, and the fans were against it, especially in England here in Germany. So to me, it doesn't mean that the fans are right, right? That's the reality. But, you know, the majority thinks that they know, and the majority doesn't. I don't think that the majority saying that something is right means that it is right. So, yeah, welcome. Praful Patel cannot contest the AIFF election. Constitution don't permit him. Who says that, Raj? Praful Patel, after his schooling period, is eligible to stand. Who says that he's not? Oh, Praful Patel surely is eligible to stand. Like, can sports ministry and Supreme Court pressure have to amend it? Can it happen? And what if we got banned? Will there be a new normalization committee? Renal, they cannot. Sports ministry and Supreme Court cannot pressure the AIFF. If that can be proven, it's an immediate ban by FIFA. And why new normalization? We didn't have a normalization committee last time, right? We have a void, and then a new committee came in. So I just wonder how the 1984 Indian football team lose against Maradon's Argentina Nil Cup 1-0 margin, but current team can't even beat Bangladesh. That shows world upgrade Mumbai and Credit Kalyan. Alistair, don't go into those old results and say, oh, you know what, we lost. Again, we played 2-2 against Iraq in 2023 in the Kings Cup in a great game of football. Friendly tournament. Look at Iraq in the Asian Cup. Look at their performance. Different level. So these comparisons, don't work for me. Right? What next? AIFF rejected proposal. Both ISL and I League teams will men's club football happen this season. Chetan, I've said this for the last now 2.5 months. 1% chance of happening. Then not yesterday. I said this 2.5 months ago. So for me, we are in the situation which we are in. You know, um, and now they've created committees to discuss. Let's see if anything comes out of it. Time is run out. From 2012, 2012, I always wonder why a politician handles football, and now I'm thinking we carry a coal in exchange of diamond. Yeah, but he was there earlier, so not 2012, but 2008, I think officially Praful came in. Yeah, but that's the reality. Hey, Blue, welcome back. What's your current view of ever not accepting pose of ISL and ID clubs? Blue, expected lines, looking at how the AFF is structured, and the AFF wants, so to say, go ahead from the Supreme Court, whatever it does. And will that work? I don't think so. We are in a very tricky situation at the moment. We are in a very tricky situation, and we're not getting out of it. The I-League proposal for me is a joke, right? That saying, hey, listen, we'll pay you 50 crores over 15 years, commercially doesn't work. But it shows you the might of the I-League clubs. So the I-League clubs with their might want to play ISL. Also, that is a very interesting aspect which has not been discussed at all. So the I-League clubs are actually not in a situation to play ISL. Period. One important thing. So now let's see. Let's discuss. AFF is desperate to start something. And I see in the next week more and more foreigners saying, thank you very much, Tata bye-bye. You've seen a lot of foreigners even besides the Indian players speaking about it. Let's wait and see what happens. From what I've seen, I don't see AFF amending the constitution nor clubs saying yes to play under FA's ownership and control. So probably this deadlock will be there for a long time. And let's wait and see. I think as long as this AFF is there, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Right? So, yeah. I think until next year, until the elections happen, this impasse will continue. That's the biggest problem. Sir, what's next? I don't think any new committee entity taking up rights after foolish constitution. So we are going to be pre-NFL. Daniel, I don't know. Again, we are in a situation where today the AGM should have discussed what's the way forward. Right? Also, talking about the top leadership, and that's not been done, right? Um, so yeah, AFF just forms committees with no action. It's seriously one of the worst federations. PC Gamer Tag, remember that OCI committee which was formed? It didn't do any work. It never met, right? So there are committees. Again, let's wait and see what this committee can do. Do you have a light hope that league will commence? No. Renal, my suggestion has been also physically talking to people face to face last week. Kill this season and find a solution for the long term. I think also the clubs are on the wrong track of trying to find a desperate solution to have a season. My opinion, right? And but that's not, we're not moving towards that. So, sir, what do you think of future of Indian football? Can it flourish from 2026, or we need to wet our face by tears for rest for a year? My grandpa and now me won't see them in World Cup. Listen, World Cup, why? Don't, please, Esther, please do not mention the FIFA World Cup in connection to Indian football. At least the men's game, right? I don't know how old your father and your grandfather are, but again, very difficult. I'm hoping that in my lifetime, and I'm not the youngest, or even Ochut, who also knows a little older, I hope that we will see the Indian team play in the World Cup one day, but not anytime soon. Given the current scenario, don't even talk about the World Cup. Yes, only just 18 likes make it 30 decent shares. And thanks, Alistair, as always. Yes, 18 likes. Yeah, we can do better. Please do like it. Even if you're watching it afterwards, like it. Share it with other people to join our conversations, that at least we keep these conversations going. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Help me grow this channel at least to a certain level. And watch the short videos. And as always, thank you for support. Didn't see Manisha name in the East Bengal IWL squad. Strange. Roshan, has she signed for East Bengal? Just asking. I feel this is turning out to be a classic Indian negotiation dragging on with no party wanting to compromise. Ochu, there is nothing to compromise. The AFF have to figure out a legal way of saying we are stepping back from this. The club's proposal is, I think, a good base to have a discussion. But this is the same proposal that was made to the AFF over 12 months ago. Right? So, you know, forget about this season. What did AFF planning for long term? Chetan, they don't have a plan for the long term. The AFF is running pillar to post to keep the system somehow running. So there is no long term planning at the moment. What is your long term planning? Hope East Bengal win the IWL and perform better at the Asian level next season. Yeah, it should. Let's hope so. NFS also, I know, sponsor but company, but no one will sponsor this AFF. AFF. Shushank, though, NFL had sponsors, no? They had sponsors in the first season. You had sponsors. I remember Coca-Cola was there for a certain period. ONGC was there. In the first season, even Umbro was a league-wide sponsor of kitting. So there were sponsors there at the time. IMG was there at the time in 96. So, I always tell people watch football of India and support us, but the national team disappointment always forced me to think, how can I appease other to watch Indian football? Alistair, the problem is that you need to tell people is it's not about team being successful. It's about, supporting the team even when it's not successful. The problem is you just explained what the problem is. Indian fans of football want to see success. They don't want to see the team for watching a team. That's our problem of our system, right? So yeah, big problem, big issue, right? And I don't know where and how there is a solution to it. But the idea of ISL clubs owning the league made sense if they had a good commercial partner, but without it, it would collapse and wouldn't be sustainable. PC Game Attack, the question of sustainability doesn't come in. This is the biggest problem that I see generally. Um, Reliance has been supporting the system and taking in the losses over the last 15 years. A reality. The question now is how can you turn things around in such a way that um, this can be that the losses can be reduced. I don't see any commercial entity coming forward and saying, hey, listen, let's manage Indian football. Because I realized last week at the Sports Bar Pro Leagues Forum that it's all about losses across all leagues. If people tell me, oh, we are profitable, this and that, everything. No, all Indian leagues outside of IPL and the women's IPL are loss-making entities. I didn't get why East Bengal FC is acting like AIFF is their father. Till last year, I was doing propaganda against them using ref. Blue being opportunistic because Anwar Ali case. That's my only logic at the moment. That there is some conversation between Nituda and Kalyan. Yeah, that's the only logic. Do you see clubs go up to a fight versus AFF? Renal, they've been fighting. What more fight do you want? This is the last card. This proposal to me was the last card, and you know they still haven't shut down. They felt shutdown could have done early. Renal, they could have shut down earlier this season. Yes, they could have, but um, the good thing is that they haven't shut down. I would say that's a bonus. That's a positive. Does it take us to where we want to? No, it doesn't. But we're still alive. We're not dead yet, and I think that's the big positive. Alistair says East Bengal is the Dara club of TMC and now national level doing with BJP. Alistair, I wouldn't say that. That is. Um, I know a lot of people want to link the politics to it, um, but I don't think it's a politics thing. It's a thing about interests more than about politics. What's the point of the letter where they said they could consider a consortium and then the Exco binning it? PC Game Attack, the clubs were in a situation that the clubs thought this week with again. No, let's put it this way: the clubs thought 2 weeks ago, oh, by the 19th, you know what? The government would go to Supreme Court and say, oh, this is not working. Can you allow and tell the AIFF to change the constitution accordingly so that we could take charge? I think that's maybe the thought process. Not maybe, that is, I think, the thought process of the clubs. And the hope that Reliance might step in. You know, to me, this is the last straw that the clubs have, so to say, hey, listen, you've killed the opportunity of a commercial partner coming in. So now we're willing to step up. The thing that the clubs did not want to do, actually, right? It's been very clear, right? I didn't hear last year any club saying, "Oh, you know what? The FSDL proposal is brilliant. 60% ownership with us, we'll do it." So yeah, first NFL had Phillips. Oh, thanks, Ochud. See, you are older like me, but I forgot. Yes, first 2 seasons was Phillips, and then in the third season, Coca-Cola stepped up. When I heard AFF won 38.5 crore for ISL, I laughed for 1 minute. I just wonder how does they even deserve 38,000? It was 37.5 crores. It's not about what they deserve. The AFF has been running of the ISL money, of the Reliance money, its system over the last 15 years. Less than 50 over a decade, 50 crores. That money has kept the AFF alive. So therefore, the AFF needs that. If the AFF doesn't get that money, the AFF is in no position to run its system. Right? Let's be very clear on that point, and that's something which I think we're forgetting. So therefore, yeah, welcome to these realities. Welcome to this world in 2025. Right? Very tough, very hard, but reality. Right? Do you think 10 crores enough to run the league as clubs proposed? If not, what is enough money to run ISL? Blue, it's not running the ISL. It is a license fee to the federation. On top of this, you would have to create an operating budget. Even if you cut down a lot of things, you still need 20, 25 crores to run the ISL. Right? So So therefore, that is a big question. If there's no league, then what? What about the kids who want to be a footballer? Others, a kid who wants to be a footballer, if he's looking at the ISL and the realities of it, then you're already making a mistake, right? So yeah, the kids should play football. If you're a small kid looking at the realities of things today, I don't think it's something to look at, because I would always say take your time, and and then you could um, yeah, move in the right direction in the future whenever these things sort itself out. 10 crore for AIFF and for grassroots asset clubs like Punjab FC, Bangalore FC, Northeast United, their own and grassroots. Alistair, it's not about grassroots, it's about AIFF running the system, their system, right? It's not just grassroots. It's about grassroots, youth football, national teams, state competitions. Sir, already East Bengal fans labeling you as Mohun Bagan's agent. What's your reaction? Alistair, I laugh. Again, I've been labeled and someone pro Mohun Bagan. I've been labeled to be FSDL. You know what the joke is? Family wise, I'm actually an East Bengal fan. But since the ISL started, my loyalty shifted. Listen, I set up Mumbai City with my own hard work, sweat, and I was involved in Punjab FC. I've got my priorities. And, you know, I can tell you, Neetu has come to me begging multiple times about things over the years. Um, and I've stayed away. So if the fans think, um, that's why I said, you should hear and listen to what the fans say and then make your own judgments. And if the fans think that, that's sad. I had one point, if the refereeing was so bad in the ISL, one example, earlier this year in Jan, Mumbai City versus East Bengal. East Bengal in front of my face, an East Bengal handball for Mumbai City, penalty not given. So supposedly the ISL refs are against you, right? That whole propaganda falls apart. Because if I would talk about this as a Mumbai City fan, we can have a conversation, because I think Mumbai City might have won a few more titles if the referees weren't supposedly against them. But then every club can come out and say that, right? So therefore, please, you know, to be to be labeled as something by fans actually is a badge of honor. I know a lot of people take it personally. I don't. So take it. Heard the Anwali case was fast tracked and ready. If you're correct, then very smooth justice. Blue, let's wait and see. Because let's see where it goes. Mohun Bagan gonna win that case, because when the 1 year loan rule was passed in 2002, it took his time to every federation of 3 years. So Mohun Bagan had ground to beat East Bengal C and Delhi FC Bajaj. Alistair, it's not about that. Forget that ruling. That's part two. East Bengal and Delhi FC were talking about a player contracted to another entity via a loan, and you're allowed to talk about someone's future 6 months before the end of the contract. So that's the case. Forget that part. Whether is the 2026 and 7 league gonna take place? This season is more or less over. Trevor, I don't know. I I don't know. Sure. And I don't have a guess. I think the most important thing um, is that this current AFF needs to be removed. As long as this AFF is not removed, nothing's going to happen. Right? That's my understanding of things at the moment. If this current AFF stays, we're not going to get anywhere. So also a question regarding Mohun Bagan. You know, Mohun Bagan got banned from AFC. So can they have a problem to get AFC license for 26 and 7? They will not get an AFC license. They don't need an AFC license. They only get an Indian license, which then theoretically makes you play in the AFC competitions. But we're not even talking about that, right? Are we going to talk about club licensing at the moment and next season? I don't think so. Because When the qualifiers for the first NFL started, as a school kid, I write down the scores in my diary from the newspaper. I was visiting my relative's home when newspapers used to reach a day late. Wow, Uchut, I remember that as well. Actually, no, no, not that. I used to have an Excel file actually because there was nothing, right? And that actually led to me to start IndianFootball.com in 2000, sorry, in 1998. People complaining about IWL broadcast not happening, bad quality, this, that, everything. They don't know in what eras we used to watch Indian football, right? It used to take you sometimes a day to know what the result of a match was. So, today's world is different. Oh, then I misunderstood a proposal. Thanks for clarifying. But what is the minimum operating cost of ISL? Any assumption? Well, as I said, 20, 25 crores. I would think. At the moment, I would say it's about 100. But if you cut it down, maybe 20, maybe even less. But if you're going to cut it to less, again, you're not going to get good people to run the ISL. I think that's what the clubs need to be very, very clear of. If you don't put in the money for the right people to come in, you will attract the wrong talent to organize your league, and then you're in a mess. So that's the that's the challenge that we were facing now. East Bengal fans claiming they had five international trophies, but in recent 2000 World, East Bengal officially had two international cups. 2003 ASEAN 21 Sabons, rest others are vacant. Honestly, I don't know which other trophies they're talking about. What's your view on I-League proposal? Roshan, waste of time. If I see the numbers and see that what they want to build, it's a waste of time. They want to stay relevant in this whole discussion because no one is talking about them. But it's a waste of time. Well, didn't get I-League trophy from AIFF, so don't expect rationality in Indian football. Interkashi did in the end. They got a new one because the AIFF couldn't get the old one back, but they did give them a trophy. Didn't give them, was going to be precise. Yeah, Blue appeals committee. Don't expect any result which makes sense or logical sense to you or to me. That's part of the problem at the moment, right? So that's the challenge where we stand at the moment is can will this system really live up to what are the realities of things? Very, 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 very tricky, very, very difficult. East Bengal Monosporting played the first match of NFL, and then Prime Minister H.D. Gowda inaugurated the league in Kolkata. Yeah, the qualifiers, not the full league. The full league started off a little later, but that was qualifiers in Goa and in Kolkata at the time. Yes, a good administration group. If Lady F, then they can run AFF within 10 to 12 crore. No, Alistair. Uh, 10 to 12 crores, you're gonna run nothing. 10 to 12 crores in today's world. The AFF needs, in my opinion, 100 crores to run. That's why the whole problem is, right? They need the 37.5. Actually, they need the 50 crores to get to the 100 because nobody else will give them money, right? You see, nobody wants to pick up the league rights for 6 crores. Nobody wants to. Capri Sports was interested, but then realized, oh, doesn't work for 3 crores. So if you add up 37.5 plus 6 plus 3, we're at 46.5, right? Additionally to the grants from FIFA, from AFC, and money from the government. But the AFF needs that money to run. Otherwise, it will implode, right? So therefore, I like it, you like it, we like it. These are realities. 10 to 12 crores, shut it down. You can run an amateur system. You can even with 12 crores, you have to shut national teams. With 12 crores, you will not run state competitions. Forget even U13, U15, U17 leagues. I just wonder what we're going to see in future. Honestly, I don't know. As I said, I don't know. You don't know. Also, women grow up soon. We will see women's playing World Cup and men's around 2070. Listen, Alistair, even don't, as I said, women's are more likely. But if I see our team and I see the results, I am worried. I'm not talking about World Cup. I am worried that we could lose 10, 15, 20 nil to Japan. My big fear. That is the gulf in women's football. Every time the Ali Trophy fiasco is mentioned, I'm reminded of famous football related Bengali movie Dhoni May Praiseworthy Girl. Okay, I haven't seen it. AIFF made some committee with Bengal, Goa, Kerala FA, right? Yes. Let me just read out what I read out earlier in the day. A proposal regarding the future of the ISL was submitted by 10 clubs. So that's also an interesting news, not by 14. So I would like to know which are the other three clubs who opted out. And presented at the AGM by Mr. Vinay Chopra, CEO of Mohun Bagan, Supergiant. Due to mixed reactions from the assembly, very interesting to note, regarding the club's request to manage the league in perpetuity, the federation appointed a three-member committee to seek a resolution. This committee consists of Kerala FA President Navas Meran, Goa FA President Caetano Fernandez, and IFA Secretary Animan Datta, along with AFF Deputy Secretary General Satyanarayanan. Discussion with representatives from five clubs: Chennai FC, Mumbai City, SC Delhi, Northeast United, and Mohun Bagan from the 22nd to 29th. So Monday onwards, discussions for a week. So yeah, that's it. You have a president salary of 20-30 lakhs in which basis? What's their contribution or success? We just got one SAF Cup. Alistair, the AFF president is an honorary post. Where is Kalyan getting money? Yeah. So, and in football, you are doing exactly the mistake that I always say to fans. Successful work cannot be linked to how many trophies you win or how successful you are. I'll tell you my own example at Mumbai City. I still today will claim that in the first season of the ISL, I, with my technical team, before we had a coach, put together the best squad in the ISL in season one. But for some reason or the other, or reasons or the other, the coaching staff, the players couldn't deliver. We had a ban on Nicholas Anelka. We trained until the last day with Nicholas Anelka on the first match day, opening of the ISL. Nicholas Anelka is not in the squad. I believe, and I tell this to my friend Prithijit Das, now at Interkashi, I say, I don't think we would have lost 3-0 on that day, right? So for me, these kind of comparisons that you're making make no sense, you know? In Prabhu Patel's tenure, we won 4 SAF Cup, 2 Intercontinental Cups, or 3 AFC Asian Cup. Listen, Asta, makes no sense to make those. Forget the intercontis anyway. So all of that wouldn't make sense. Who was your best Mumbai City FC player and who was best? Sergio Lobera or Des Buckingham? Our best player was Nicholas Anelka, by far. Nico was a great footballer. And if you ask me about Sergio and Des, I would most likely pick Des. Right? Des built something exceptional at Mumbai City. What does it mean, honorary post on our expenses are just covered? Yeah, honorary means you don't get a salary. You are, you know, what we in German would call Ehrenamt. If you want to sort of combine it, it's honorary. So you don't get anything paid. So therefore, the president of the FF is not a paid, or even the exco is not a paid post. You don't get money for that, right? The administrative staff get money, but the exco guys, I mean, if you, I always laugh when people say, oh, you know what, they're being paid by chai and tea and all that stuff. Yeah, that's the most they're going to get from the FF. They're not going to get money from the FF. Right, nearly 1 hour, 50 minutes. On this Saturday evening where the Exco didn't take any decisions which I or you or we would have liked. We are where we are, and things, you know, and, and yeah, that's something that I, yeah, um, that I want to say, and it's very difficult. The first day of the ISL, 10 plus family members were seated bang opposite to the VIP box at YBK supporting ATK were the only other family member was sitting in the VIP box as CEO of the opponents. Yes, Ochut. Yes. And yeah, it was A bad evening. Even though I remember I didn't sleep the whole night because we had this whole Nicholas and Elka issue to try and sort out with FIFA, which we couldn't. Actually, I did, but again, that's one of those stories to tell. Um, when when I write my memoirs on my Indian football experiences. But yeah, again, I still think we could have, maybe we should have won the ISL. We didn't, and therefore I'm still very disappointed with that fact. But again, yes, that's the thing. Circum in life, yes, also. No, Alistair. Again, it's Christmas week, so again tomorrow I'm also won't be coming live. Monday I'm trying to plan something. I wanted to try and invite a few people and maybe 3-4 people discuss Indian football. Let me see if I can do that. But I'm trying to do that. Let's see what can happen. Do you think we will recover from this mess? Yes, ISL is linked for many thousands of families. Bet for one person, they will come to roads. Alistair, I hope. Right. My problem is that you're saying is it's we just talk about the ISL. I said that on Hiren show earlier today. I said, we should, for example, we're forgetting people in I League 2, I League 3, like, right? Much smaller money, trying to survive. And therefore for me, um, you know, uh, there are more than those 5,000 people that we talk about. I think there is most probably, overall in the system, most probably more than a lakh of people involved whose livelihood and future is at stake. Since 2008, I see Indian football and wonder for those days because failure from 2003 irritated us. Yeah, Alistair, even the success we had in 2023, I was always skeptical, critical about it. Watch the original videos in this channel, which we did at the Sports Khabri, Hiren, and others. Yeah, realities. Whenever people used to say that ISL was not FIFA approved, I used to cite Anelka's case. Exactly, Uchut. It was always FIFA approved. It was always clear that there would have to be a decision about which is the top tier league of India in the long run. Um, if you look at the investments put into the ISL, it was clear, I think in 16 even, that that the ISL would have to become the top tier of Indian football, and it then happened through the roadmap. Again, I played my little part and forced it through via FIFA and AFC. So yeah, realities. And um, you know, you little earlier said, or no, sorry, Alistair said, East Bengal fans saying this and that. I think East Bengal and Mohun fans should thank me that you're part of the ISL because I was one of the people who got you into the ISL. So rather than cursing me, or if you don't want to be part of the ISL, then say, TK, let's get out of it. But actually thank you to me that you're part of the ISL, right? Yes or no, I liked it. I liked it the way it was started. Yeah, yeah. And Ocean, these are things, but these are realities of Indian football in the year 2025. As we're ending, we've got 11 days to go, and we are in a mess and a chaos that I at least have never seen in my life. And this is insane. Insane. People not willing to step back, people not willing to say, you know what, guys, better maybe that I do something. And yeah, very, 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 very difficult. Very, very difficult. Right, nearly 1 hour, 55 minutes. Let me slowly come to an end on this Saturday evening. As I said a few minutes ago, like, share, and subscribe. Um, support this channel. Even of those of you who are watching and maybe afterwards, thanks a lot to this. I know some of you can't join us in the live sessions because of timings and other things. Thank you for doing that. And do watch the short videos, right? Please do support this channel. I need your support. We need to grow. And again, I know in football circles, a lot of support. But social media, I need more support from you guys. Spread it out. And as always, in last few points, so in which football are we living, 2025 or 1970? Alistair, Indian football is most probably living in an era, I don't even know, 1970, 1950, 1930, 1880, I don't even know, right? It was clear from the very start, F wants to control ISL, nothing else. What do they expect clubs to pay, not owning anything? Yeah, maybe you're right, but I don't think that was clear. That became clear today, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Thanks a lot, guys, for once again joining in. I will catch you on Monday. As I said, I'm trying to get a few people to come along and do a bigger group of people joining me in discussion, and let's see what we can talk about. And I'll catch you. Watch the short videos. And as I always say, never stop supporting Indian football. Ask critical questions. Ask the questions that are needed. Only that way we can move forward. Thanks and good night.